Good morning. My name is Sadan Paul, and I am from Kolkata, West Bengal. And I have done my schooling and graduation from St. Xavier's College. And then later I moved to Pune to do my MA and BEd. And the last 8 years I've been teaching English in the national curriculum. And I also taught in the Cambridge curriculum the last 2 years. And today I would like to give a demo of a poem, as you can see on the screen. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. So let's start. So Pablo Neruda is from Chile. He was a diplomat. He was a novel writer, and he was a journalist. And he has gone through many things, even in his personal life. And he writes mainly about wars, about nature, and other topics. So here we see here the poem Keeping Quiet. Uh, let's see, we can use S. S stands for subject and the speaker. What is the subject here? The subject, as it is Keeping Quiet, is a title of the poem. And the speaker is Pablo Neruda. And we'll see the next one. P stands for purpose and theme. What is the purpose of this poem and what is the theme? If we look at if we read the poem for two times, three times, we'll get to know the purpose and the theme. The theme of this poem is about, keeping quiet, introspecting ourselves, not harming, uh, what do you call, the nature, deforestation, and ourselves. So main thing about the purpose and the theme is to introspect ourselves. Then only we can live a much better quality life rather than rushing. Okay. And then we have the emotions. What emotions is carried in this poem? What has a uh, you know reader, what we feel. Do we feel anguish? Do we feel love? Do we feel at peace? So while analyzing a poem, we have to see the subject and the speaker. P stands for purpose, E stands for emotions. Then you have the C. The C stands for author's craft. In the author's craft, uh, there are four part here. F. F stands for figurative language. Now there are a lot of figurative languages used. Mainly poets, they use figurative language to express their poem, in a great way. So there are a lot of metaphors. If we see in the starting line here, we alliteration is used. A lot of alliteration is used in most of this, what do you call, uh, in this lines, poems. Then we see W, W, W. Okay. Alliteration is used a lot. Sudden strangeness. Alliteration is what? Repetition of vowel sound in each and every beginning words. Okay, then you have alliteration here. It goes throughout the whole poem. Then I think so. Even enjambment is used in figurative language. Enjambment is not finishing the whole. If you see the stanza one, this whole thing, is continuing here. So there is no full. The continuation of this, or what do you call, especially this line, not this, the first one. Okay, we'll take this stanza. Earth. There's no full stop, then comma, second, and much. Okay, so enjambment is used a lot in most of the stanzas. Here also enjambment is used. So figurative language is used a lot. Then if you see also this assonance, O, repetition of vowel sounds in each word. Okay, then there are a lot of metaphors also used, but that is in the other lines, other stanzas. So yeah, then you have the I stands for images. A lot of images has been used. Images of the fisherman, image of what do you call? If I'll try to stop annotate, you see here images of um, green walls. Images of green walls are used. Walls with fire. A lot of images are used. Vivid images are used. Okay, so let's go back to if from here stanza. Yes. Then what kind of language? What kind of language are used here? Hmm? What are the words? What are the connotations and denotations? Connotations are mainly the literal meaning, and denotations is the figurative meaning. Okay, and then we have the M. M stands for music and rhythm. As I said, alliteration kind of a pattern. If we see the whole poem has alliteration and sounds, and the last one is S. Okay, S stands for the structure. Structure of the poem is open verse. There is no rhyming scheme. Okay, so it's a free verse. So if we see here, what we have done is subject, purpose and theme, emotions, the author's craft. These are the important author's craft, figurative language, your images, language, music, and structure. So to analyze a poem, we can use this features. Okay, so I'll just erase this now. Yeah. So so the first stanza, what they're trying to say is the poet Pablo Neruda that if we count to 12 and we all keep still, but at the same time counting and then keeping still, it's like there's a great contrast. So here also I think the figurative language is used of antithesis. Okay, so why does the poet wants us to be still and count 12? Counting 12 also symbolizes, yes, symbolism also is used a lot in this poem. Symbolism of, it can be the clock hours or the 12 months. So what does it do if we count 12? For once on the face of the earth, let us not speak any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Okay, so let's not speak any language means let's not, because language is a barrier. If we that's what the poetry is trying to say. If we because it makes more barriers, and if we stop for a second and don't move our arms so much means don't no physical activities as such. So what would happen? So it would be an exotic moment. Exotic mean it would be a great moment without rush, because we human beings are rushing every time without thinking, you know working, eating, running, going the same routine over and over again, and we're not introspecting ourselves. As I said in my earlier uh, uh, one explanation, that the poem is all about introspection and how we can introspect ourselves better to get a more fruitful kind of meaning in our life without engines. So without engines means not no machines, no industries. we would all together we will all be together in a sudden strangeness. What is a sudden strangeness? The exotic moment, because never, you know if this quiet, ideas will flow, will be peace. And then what would happen in the sudden strangeness? Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Yes, fishermen in the cold sea wouldn't harm whales, because we are so, what to say, selfish, that we try to kill animals to sell or to eat them. So if we are quiet, we will not harm animals. And the man gathering salt would not look at his hurt hands. Yes, the man gathering salt, yes, he has to work. But at the same time, overworking, excessive working could lead to his injury, self-injury. So that's what the poet doesn't want, because poet has seen a lot, in this World War II. So that's what the backdrop of writing this poem. Then if we see in this stanza, those who prepare green wars with wars with fire, victory with no survivors, put on clean clothes and walk about their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Yes, those who prepare green wars here means, against nature, cutting down trees, deforestation, wars with gas. Here with wars with gas symbolizes wars, industries, factories, pollution. Wars with fire also means, weapons, chemical weapons, bio weapons. And what we're doing all this, but with a selfish greed here and no survivors. So the best thing is to put on clean clothes. Clean clothes here also is a metaphor. It means that to put on, introspect ourselves, you know introspect ourselves. And if our mind is good, we put on this, and then we can walk with our yeah, we can walk with our brothers in the shade doing nothing. In the shade here means the trees that give shade. Okay, it's like that. We will be sitting there at peace. Then the last here, he's trying to say that the writer, author, the poet doesn't want us to be confused with, there shouldn't be any total inactivity. Doesn't want that. Yes, life has to go on, you have to do your work, but then there's a certain limit of, you know activity. Like, you cannot keep working like a machine, because we are human beings. And when we do that, we don't think, and we make all these mistakes, like war with gas, war with pollution, war with factories, weapons. And we are, and there is, everyone is, there is no victory. Victory is there, but internal victory is not there. Internal. So that's what he wants. Life is what it is. I want no truck with death, because when all these things happens, was that is struck with death. And if we were not so single-minded, if we are not selfish, okay, and keeps our life, about keeping our lives moving, uh, because we are always selfish. Human beings are selfish. And if we keep ourselves, and if and do nothing, okay, being, what do you call, not being selfish, and do nothing and be still, then a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. And what is the sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death? This is a sadness. So if we keep still, introspect ourselves, then maybe this sadness will be removed. Okay, it might interrupt. And last, they have used this personification of the earth. Personification is, what is personification? Giving human attributes, characteristics. Okay. So perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. So what does it mean? It means that, the earth sometimes is dry, but in that dryness, in that drought, it is silent. But then when it rains, seeds comes sprouting in. Okay, or flowers bloom. So Mother Earth can teach us a lot of things, but the thing is that we are not listening. We are only listening to the external world. So until unless we are calm, we introspect ourselves, I think, it will do wonders. And then he says, now I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet and I will go. So this is a very good poem, very touching poem, motivating. As I said that at the start, the emotion, what emotions for me, I think is more encouragement, motivating us, and striving us to do good, to remain silent, so that we can do much bigger things in life. Okay, so I hope you all understood the poem. I will see you all in the next class. Thank you.